talking about hydrogen vehicle, most of the people will be who, what, why? Honda offers 3 different versions of Clarity. You can get electric, plug-in hybrid or FCV, which runs on hydrogen. From the outside, it's going to be really hard to understand which one it is, unless I'm stepping back and you can read fuel cell. It runs on hydrogen, and right now in the United States you can find it only in California. That's basically where most of the FCVs exist. Let's talk about styling. It does look more like a regular car. You don't have this Prius, or should I say Mirai, distinguishing look, which in my view is a good point. I'm a big fan of the front styling, especially the front fascia, where you can see those LEDs. I'm really disappointed to see this skirt on the rear fender. It doesn't fit with overall styling of this car. And we'll continue this conversation, but let's move on for now. When you look at other vehicles, let's compare to the electric vehicles. Some of them will bring you this feel that you have to cut your hand to be eco-friendly. It's complete opposite here, since you get high quality materials and interior. Let's start with the front dash and this door panel. This white material is very soft, and when you touch it, you get this feel that I would expect this kind of material in some exotic vehicles like Aston Martin, but not in the eco-friendly Clarity. And I also have to say, I like those seats too. What's really missing is some back support. And after driving 500 miles during the week, I can tell you, the seats are comfortable. Real wood pieces here and there. You feel the wood grain. And again, you will love this interior. When it comes to functionality, I'm a big fan of this huge storage that sits right under the center console. You can plug your cell phone there, and it's also got 2.1 amp USB to sync your device. To prove the point that somebody spent tons of time to think how to utilize every single inch of this interior, I would recommend you to take a look at this phone pocket that's built in to the seat. I found it a little bit challenging to find a phone mount that will fit in this vehicle. And that's probably what they initially wanted to do. You got Apple CarPlay, you got Android Auto, you got lots of storage spaces, so plug your device and don't look at it. And the interior itself feels quite spacious because they managed to move the fuel cell stack under the hood, so it means seating 5 instead of seating 4 when you compare to Mirai. The technology part is where this car shines. Let's go over the list. You have heads-up display where you see speedometer, where you see your navigation guidelines, where you have lane assist. Then, instead of using blind spots like in every other car, they have this rounded mirror on the left side, and they use Honda Lanewatch, basically a camera that sits on the right mirror that shows you the blind spot from your right side. That's something that was supposed to be in any car as soon as they start doing cameras. And so far only Honda utilizes it on a daily basis. Remember I told you I would explain you why this car got this ugly rear fender. Honda had to create rear wheel skirt to get frame steel elements higher in order to protect this hydrogen tank that sits right on top of the rear axle. There's a few more interesting things about this car. Look here. To me, at the first take, it looks like a 12 volt, and I'm about to burn my finger. It's called Cabin Air Quality Management System. It all sounds as fancy as it works. I didn't know how it works or what it does, but a few days ago on a parking lot, I shut down the engine, and a few minutes later, car starts breathing some fresh air inside without you doing anything. You'll be probably wondering, why the heck I need it? It will ensure that you got some fresh air inside for your pet or your passenger if you leave the vehicle for a few moments, if you went to grab a cup of coffee or something like that. That's actually something simple and pretty smart. I've been saying it a lot, but tiny details like that make you best positive impressions. Same with this gearbox shifter. It's very easy and intuitive to use, and you definitely know where you're parking, reverse, neutral, drive, without even turning your head. So details, minor little things. That's what creates the most positive feeling. Going back to the functionality, it's got the biggest, the deepest cup holders than any sedan. And besides having these large cup holders, it's also got the biggest tank for your hydrogen. Among 3 hydrogen vehicles on the market, the Clarity sits right in the middle in terms of its range. So let's talk about the technology and how fuel cell vehicles work. Stop, don't be scared. You go to the station that kind of looks like a gas station. Despite the fact that some of them not working, broken, or got some issues, we personally found a few stations near LA area that are open and running like 99% of the time. And you always see a few fuel cell vehicles in the line. And sitting in this line waiting until a couple of Mirais will be able to get hydrogen, I didn't waste even a minute. I went ahead and started talking to the owners, asking them what they like and what they don't like driving an FCV vehicle. The main answer was fuel. Yes, it could be challenging to find the station that's working, but it gets better day after day. And 2 years ago, it was only 2 or 3 of them around LA area. Now look at the map. You have more than 36 stations. The network is constantly developing. And for some countries like Denmark, it's not something new. They've been actively using it every single day for years. We're talking about buses, we're talking about public transportation, we're talking about vehicles on the street. So hopefully one day we'll see the same, at least in California. Hydrogen fuel is very expensive right now. You're talking about 15 to 20 bucks per kilo, which actually translates to $80 receipt when you refuel this vehicle using your credit card. Stop. Don't freak out, okay? Manufacturers like Honda and Toyota give you the card to be able to get fuel. The card can be used for 15,000 bucks worth of fuel or 3 years, whichever comes first. So when you see the price tag for the vehicle or monthly lease, you have to understand this is with the fuel included. Plus there are tax rebates that you have to count as well. And instead of emission, you'll be pissing clean water on the road. So get ready. Some people at the intersection will horn and say, "Hey, do you know something is leaking there?" And you'll be saying, "Yeah, it's a clean water." So what? Also, besides all of those benefits, you get carpool sticker. So you can use carpool anytime. And at the same time, you will show this world a better alternative to do daily things with no emission. So do the math and you will see how far manufacturers are trying to push this technology. I have to add one thing. It's not as quiet as driving Mirai, but you have this more regular car feel. This electric motor has 221 pound-feet of torque. Yeah, and you get more noises from the outside when you go fast. From my wish list, I would love to see a better car stereo, and also I would love to see a better hydrogen station infrastructure. Yes, don't judge this book by its cover. It's way more luxurious on the inside, and you have to drive it to really understand all the benefits and what you're actually getting. Nowadays, electric vehicles to us sound like a mainstream. So hydrogen is not only fancy word, it can mean a better future for all of us if station network will continue growing and fuel prices will keep going down. It drives like a luxury sedan, and at the same time it's got better ideas behind. FCVs are an easy and better solution for someone who doesn't want to wait hours for electric charge.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
And if you're about to lease another typical car, just give yourself a favor and check out the Clarity. if you think I'm not gonna leave you here in the middle of nowhere after taking you for such a long trip to talk about this car and won't drive away because you haven't subscribed yet, to make sure it's never gonna happen, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, watch the new releases as soon as they come out.